This is the Washington Post trying to call him. Their reporters have been calling him since he got put in jail. He doesn't talk. They talk to him, just waiting for some sort of a reaction, which appears not to have come. I can't answer any questions, he said to the Washington Post reporters. You're welcome to talk. In 4 calls spanning about 40 minutes, he maintained that disciplined approach, listening silently as a reporter described what friends and acquaintances had said about him. He did not audibly react to hearing that Kirk's wife, Erica, had publicly forgiven him. He did not react in any audible way to the fact that Kirk had been awarded the Medal of Freedom. Eventually, Robinson asked that the reporters communicate with him only in writing. He did not respond to messages sent through the jail's email system, and his attorneys declined to answer questions for this report. But they do report, and to me, I've got to say overall, this looks to me like the Post's attempt to try to say he wasn't a lib. He was a conservative. You guys probably haven't a chance to read it because it's very lengthy. But they give lip service to the mother's statements, to her statements that he had become much more enamored with pro-gay, pro-trans ideology in the year prior to the murder. They have to mention that because it would be journalistic malpractice not to. And it's been alleged in the indictment. And then they spend the rest of this piece trying to prove that he was really apolitical, and his friends who knew him said, well, we didn't really see any of that. But then they do talk about the fact that he was holding his trans furry lover roommate who was crying about all the hatred towards trans people as Tyler Robinson stroked him and tried to make him feel better about all the hate that it was out there, and about how he didn't like, quote, hateful people. And we know he said he killed Charlie in those text messages right after the murder because he was full of too much hate. Some hate can't be negotiated out. And the Post tries to downplay what he wrote on the bullets, saying it was just a meme. But really what they're writing about is a guy overall who was kind of listlessly going through life. He dropped out of Utah Valley or the Utah University he was in. It wasn't UVU where Charlie was killed. But he dropped out. He became a tradesman, I think electrician, learning that trade. And was seen on site balling his fists up, walking around with his fists balled up to the point where his coworkers would say, Tyler, what's wrong with you? And he'd say, oh, that's just something I do. I'm fine. But he would eat lunch alone. The only thing that ever animated him was guns that he would get really interested in.